Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hand Spinner Review Spot YouTube channel. You can click on the link in the description below to take you to our Facebook page for all sorts of reviews and written stuff and all that kind of thing. Today we're going to have a look at something really interesting, and I'm incredibly lucky to be able to show you the first review of this piece. I think I'm right in saying that aside from the creator, I'm very lucky to be the first person to actually be able to handle one of these. This is the Tri-Cocoon from Poss Blades. You may have heard the name from things like this. He also makes fantastic buttons. This is really how he leapt onto the spinner scene. And this is, as I say, his first full spinner design. So before we get into it, let's have a quick look at it in comparison to a few others so you have an idea of the size. It's quite a small spinner, and here we'll have a mini compass from Zero Feud. We'll put a rotor blade stubby, do a couple of tries as well. There's a tri-stubby, and what else shall we do? We'll do Trillium, you can see that, and then maybe we'll do, there we go, Mini Cortex as well. A lot of stainless steel going on. So there you go, that's generally how it stacks up against other designs, and I think you'll probably agree, it is quite compact, and certainly when you put it next to something like the stubby, oops, you can see that it's relatively small. It's not a tiny spinner, and because of the fact that this one here is stainless steel, it's mid 50 grams and it's got a certain heft to it, and because it's quite small in terms of overall footprint, it feels quite dense in the hand. It's got a certain reassuring weightiness about it. Now, just talking about the design, I started talking to Ben when he first launched these fantastic buttons to the market. As you can see, these are beautifully rounded and they've got inlaid tops. He did these and still does them in Damascus and Timascus, all sorts of different things. I think there's even some mammoth ivory ones and that kind of stuff. They really are beautiful. These are bowcoat wood inlaid ones. And the moment I got these in hand, I knew that this was a guy with real attention to detail, because hopefully you can see, but those are beautifully made. There isn't anything wrong with those at all. Now, he comes up with the designs, then he outsources the machining. But at the risk of stereotyping here, Ben is a German gentleman, and these are machined in Germany. And if the Germans are known for anything, and they're known for many great things, they're known for fantastic engineering. And I was really excited to see what would happen. He kindly showed me some early CAD drawings of the Tri-Cocoon, the spinner that I have in front of me here, and I was super enthusiastic, because the moment I saw the design, I just thought it was incredibly attractive. It's something a bit different, this sort of very triangular design with these little notches in them. You can see this dips in this way, but also there's a notch that runs across the top as well. I just find it very attractive. It looks straight away like it will be very, very nice in the hand, and also probably very nice to fidget with as a, a really fidget focused design. And I just think it looks beautiful. And anyway, so I like I say, I was very enthusiastic, and obviously I was eager to review it when it was done, and he's kindly given me the opportunity to bring this one here, the first one to get out into the wild to you. So, how is it? Well, the machining is every bit as good as I expected it to be, and I just think it's remarkable. If you look at the machining on something like, this is a bit gratuitous here, but this is a Mokatai stubby. As you can see, the machining on that's fantastic, and this is straight off of the machine and then flame anodized. For me, these have been the benchmark for the quality of the machining, and they're still at that level. But this is absolutely spectacular as well. It just is so perfectly done. There isn't a motion on here from the machine which has left any sort of mark that's not attractive, and this is straight off the machine. It's spectacularly clean. And recently I did a review of the Random Fabrications portal, and I talked about the fact that this is one of the elements that really sets apart a truly high-end spinner. Even if it's quite a straightforward design, if the quality of machining is at that level, it just elevates the whole thing when it's in hand. It just feels like a beautiful object to hold, and this really does feel like that. It's great. Now, let's talk just quickly about the bearing before we get onto the performance of this piece and the overall ergonomics. Here we have the much-loved one drop, full stainless steel 10 ball R188. This is shielded but clean, and the other really interesting thing here is you can see this radial group of holes that run around the bearing. What these do is essentially they take away mass from around the bearing itself and focus the centre of mass of this piece to the outer edges, which helps maximise spin time on what is a very small design. The buttons are a specific shape that he's been doing for a while. He's been doing damast steel buttons in this shape, and they're quite low profile, they're beautifully rounded, they're extremely ergonomic, and that brings us to the overall ergonomics of the piece. There isn't anything uncomfortable with this, there isn't any hot spots, and the actual spin quality is where the true joys of this arrive. And I put up a post yesterday on Instagram and on Facebook just saying that whatever else you have in your collection, you need one of these. And I firmly stand behind that statement, because look at that. I have always considered this guy here, the Tri-Compass from Zero Feud, to be the benchmark for smoothness, in terms of there being absolutely no movement on the button. It's dead smooth on a single finger spin. Well, I've had things that get very close or are, you know, virtually on par, but I'm extremely excited to say this is as smooth as my benchmark spinner. And on top of that, because it's running this one drop bearing, it's even smoother in hand. Because this is a full stainless steel bearing, you have less feedback. And that's one thing I would say. If you're someone who likes a lot of feedback from your spinners, you like to really feel them spinning, you like to feel a little bit of vibration, this will not be a spinner for you. But if you're more along the lines of loving things like the Trillium, and you want something which is absolutely dead smooth, and when it's spinning on a single finger or in your fingers, it's remarkable in that it almost doesn't even feel like it's spinning. It's just beautiful. You get a lovely gyroscopic effect, you get absolutely no wobble or bearing lash, and when you pull back on the spinner, it's great. I mean, it's one of the best fidget designs. I mean, I think for me, something like the Pentaspin Spur and the Axis Micro have probably been my absolute favourite fidget focused, negatively tapered kind of designs. Well, this has just leapt in front of them both. Honestly, guys, I'm searching for something bad to say about it. As you know, I try to give you, both the positives and the negatives in all of my reviews, and there really isn't anything here that bugs me at all. Now, I suppose, having swapped out some of the buttons on this, while these are absolutely beautiful, I have been really liking a couple of other button options. I just want to show you those before I cut this video and show you what they look like. So this is a set of titanium, just because they're what I happen to have to hand, thick Zero Feud buttons, and these look absolutely fantastic on this spinner. The picture I posted yesterday had a set of spirograph Zero Feud buttons on it, and they look fantastic as well. But as you can see, they really suit the design. So if you've got exotic Zero Feud buttons or something like that, if you pick up one of these, you know you're going to have something that's really fantastic. If anything, I personally find the width of these is maybe slightly more comfortable than the others. That'll be a taste thing. Some people like a more pinched grip, but for me, this is getting close to spinner nirvana. I mean, there's so little wrong with this. It's fantastic. It's portable, it's easy to handle, it's great. Another thing that might work for you is to switch out a set of Posblade's own inlaid buttons. And I think these work really nicely as well. I'll show you these. Sorry, this is one of those moments where you came over here to YouTube today to watch a man unscrew things. But such is life. We all have our vices. And there we go. And those look fantastic as well. And if these were, I think particularly if these were one of his damast steel sets, or maybe his Mokume sets or something like that, I think that would look absolutely fantastic. And much like the Zero Feud buttons, these give you a slightly less pinched grip, and they just feel fantastic. It's such a great spinner to fidget with. I mean, you can catch it and release it. You can move different hands. Oh, it's just fantastic. Honestly, I'm running out of superlatives, and I'm starting to repeat myself in an almost nauseating way. So there you go, guys. This is the Tri-Cocoon from Posblades.